Want to attend the legendary Thrivetime Show Business Workshop for free? Subscribe on iTunes, leave an objective review, and send us confirmation at info@thrivetimeshow.com to claim your tickets. Want to live in a van down by the river? Come by and see us at our Riverwalk offices, and we'll be able to make your dreams come true.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. It is the Thrivetime Show on your podcast download. My name is Clay Clark. I'm the former United States Small Business Administration Entrepreneur of the Year, and you are listening to another fantastic, fabulous, and ultra-humble edition of the Ask Clay Anything podcast. And we have Mr. Harley, our special guest from Oral Roberts University, on this show today. And we have Mr. Eric Chupp, the business coach.
Hey-o.
And we have Mr. Marshall Morris, the co-author of the Amazon best-selling book, Start Here, which you can download for free at thrivetimeshow.com. Or if you want to buy the physical copy of it, and I know you do, you can get it today by going to Amazon and typing in the Start Here book and the name Marshall Morris, and bam, it'll pop up there. So now, without any further ado, what is your business question, Mr. Harley Lichtenstein?
All right. So when we talk to clients, we will preach about using no-brainers.
Right.
That it's a huge deal, and it'll really separate you from the pack. But when we try and implement a no-brainer, how would you be able to test and see if that no-brainer will actually work?
These are great questions. Okay, what you're going to do, first off, Chups, I want to make sure we put a link to the interview that Tim Ferriss does with Mike Maples Jr., because he explains how he tested his book cover for the 4-Hour Work Week, how he tested what advertisements would work. It's called A/B testing, and I'll tee it up. I'll kind of get into the overview, and I'll have Marshall hammer it home here. So here we go. You want to come up with the 3 best offers that you think that exist, the 3 best. And I would recommend that you would have 0 original thoughts, that you would just type in. So say you're a contractor in Dallas. You're a plumber in Dallas. What I would encourage you to do if you're a plumber in Dallas is do a Google search for plumbers in Dallas. Do a Google search for plumbers in New York. Do a search for plumbers in Houston. Do a search for any big city. And look at the websites of the top 3 competitors in each market and see what offers they're making. And then I would look at those offers. I'd put them all on a spreadsheet. And I would determine the 3 that you think are the most plausible, that are already being offered by other people, a.k.a. you're standing on the shoulders of giants, a.k.a. it's easier to be a pirate than a pioneer, a.k.a. Steve Jobs said great artists steal, a.k.a. you're not reinventing the wheel. This is what you're doing. Then you simply run the ads. You work with your coach. We design a landing page and the advertisement to make it look good. And you run ads for all 3 simultaneously. Or each week you run a different ad. And then what you do is you track the results, Marshall. And you throw about $300 a week at each ad to see which one generates the most bang. Bang! That's how you do it, Marshall.
And so you have to move through the entire workflow to figure out what part is the bottleneck. So are people seeing your ad in the first place? If people are not seeing it, then you probably need to spend more money to get in front of people. Okay, that's why Clay's advocating, hey, you got to just spend a lot of money at first to figure out what works.
And if you're listening right now and you say, well, I don't have an extra $300, then I would say to you, I worked at Target, I worked at Applebee's, and I worked at DirecTV. And one of the requirements to be a human on the planet Earth who's alive is you have to breathe oxygen.
Oh.
And one of the requirements to be a business owner who succeeds on the planet Earth is you have to advertise. And so you not advertising is a bad deal. And Michael Levine discusses it on one of our podcasts. He's the PR consultant for Nike, for Pizza Hut, for the Clintons, the Bushes, for Nancy Kerrigan. He explains that Fortune 500 companies, the fastest growing companies, spend 11% of their budget on advertising. If you don't like that, Dr. Zellner, my partner, would instruct you to spend a minimum of 5% of your gross revenue on advertisement and 10% if you are an aggressive business owner. Then what you do is, to Marshall's point, you can track, the first step is you track the number of clicks you're getting. Then you track the number of leads you're getting. And an elephant in the room, did you guys hear the new sound we put in the office where it's every time that a lead comes in?
Oh, yeah. Elephant.
It's an elephant sound?
Good stuff, yeah.
And the goal is to call the lead within 30 seconds. That's the goal. And by calling the leads within 30 seconds, do you know what's happened this week there, Eric Chip?
People freaking love it.
Yeah, and we're booking a lot more people
Yeah.
because the leads were coming in, but we were not calling the leads for typically like 10 minutes or so. And now we're down to like 30 seconds. And I'm telling you what, it's magic.
Blows people's minds.
It does, and they're available because they just filled out the form, and they're available to talk because they're trying to book a haircut appointment during their lunch break, and you call them, and bam, they're available. And they go, man, I just filled out the form. That's awesome.
They expect it to go off into the
People perceive
tubes.
fast response to be high quality. And so,
right.
but you have it all on a workflow that we track from left to right, and we're trying to see where the breakdown is in the system. And the breakdown was, the biggest limiting factor was the speed at which you responded to the leads. So we were only converting about 80% of our leads into customers, and I want to get that number up to as close to 100 as possible. And that's how that works. Does that answer your question, Harley?
I believe it does, but we can meander into a different area as well.
Oh, it's okay, meander.
Oh.
All right. And so when it comes to branding and having different promotions or different looks for your brand and no-brainers, a lot of times clients might want to change some things, move some things around.
Sure.
Just for the kick of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. And they should be allowed to do that. And you can afford to do that if you're profitable.
Mm-hmm. But as I've heard preached or talked about in shadowing coaching meetings, you want to stick with one thing that really works.
Well, kind of.
Kind of.
I went to Hobby Lobby yesterday and I bought a hand. It's made out of some kind of metal, and I screwed it onto my men's bathroom door. There it is. Look at that hand. It's so awesome. It's so disturbing. So
a
great.
handle.
There he goes. It's a handle. Nice. But I bought that, and I bought it because I can. And I bought another Z that's hanging over there by the Patriots championship hat right there. It's a brown Z. And I bought a white Z that's on the door, and I bought a Chuck Norris print. And I just, because I can. That's what I do. And so I can do whatever I want to do. So again, if you're a business owner and you're very profitable and you come into the meeting saying, hey, this week I would like to run an ad that says I'm the unicorn of plumbers. And you go, okay, let's do it. And if you're a successful plumber, then do it. Now, if you're barely paying the bills and you're failing, you shouldn't waste time on things that don't matter. But if you want to spend the majority of your Saturday figuring out the best deal you can find online to buy wholesale silky chickens, then you could do that.
I got a follow-up question, Clyde.
Yeah.
Because I've worked through this with a lot of my clients, and something that you'll typically hear, the question asked, is how long do I need to run a no-brainer? How long, do I run this indefinitely in my business, or just when I'm getting started? Or how long is it important that I'm running a no-brainer for my business in order to get people in the door?
Well, okay. As an example, it's I've talked to a lot of people about this, and this is hopefully this idea makes sense. If you go into a room and the room is typically 70 degrees, so like the man cave, I try to keep it like in the 60s.
Yeah.
And I'm getting another window unit installed here in the Man Cave studios, so it can be really, really cold. I like it very, very cold. And so every once in a while, we'll come in here to record, and it's hot because somebody who's been cleaning my house, or somebody who's been in my house, or someone who's been around the home has adjusted the temperature, and it feels uncomfortable, right? It feels too hot. So you get used to a certain temperature. And I would just tell you that, as I've worked with a business owner on this, and I said, we should not stop your no-brainer until you're comfortable with $100,000 of cash in your bank account. And they said, $100,000? I've never had $100,000. I'm like, I know. It's not normal or healthy to have like $3,000 in your account at all times. It's not a move. You want to get to where you have like $100,000. So you want to run your no-brainers, if they're effective, until you get to a place of financial security. And I would just say that, I don't know what that number is. I'd encourage you to have, at least $100,000 on hand at all times, because you got to be able to weather emergencies. And so I would encourage you to run your no-brainer forever. For elephant in the room, I don't think we're ever going to stop our no-brainer. I can say right now we can't get in a lot of customers because we're booked out all the time. So that's kind of, so as far as how long, I would never stop until you get to a place of financial security. A lot of businesses never stop the no-brainer. Ever. Papa John's has never stopped their no-brainer ads. McDonald's has never stopped. I'd argue probably never stop. How long has the 99-cent menu been around at McDonald's? Is it 99 now, or is it like 109 or something, or is it still 99?
I'm on the Hungry Ninja, so I'm no longer doing that.
Is it a thing? I mean, Harley, do you know about this McDonald's?
Yeah.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Is it 99 cents still?
Yeah, so they keep changing it with like different names, but it's like a right price, right size menu or something like that.
But is it 99 cents?
There are options that are 99 cents, yeah.
Eventually, that's going to have to stop. Eventually, the inflation's going to catch up with McDonald's. But all I'm saying is you want to run your no-brainer forever. And that is how you launch effective no-brainer ads. Harley, did that answer your question?
It sure did.
3, 2, 1. Boom.